Hello once again. I hope everybody is doing well. We're continuing along with the halachas of hatmana. We mentioned yesterday that it is not considered hatmana unless it is fully submerged or fully covered. That means if you have a towel, you have to, if you're wrapping with a towel, the towel has to be wrapped around the top and all the sides. If a whole side is left uncovered, or if it's wrapped around the sides but the top is left uncovered, it would not be considered hatmana. And this leads into one of the big questions that comes up with the hatmana, one of the huge machleksim, and that is there are two kinds of crock pots. There's the crock pot that just has a flat surface, and you put the crock pot on top of that flat surface, and then there's the crock pot that is an insert. It's usually round. Usually those crock pots are round, and you insert the pot into the crock pot, and the walls of the heating element come up around the sides of the crock pot. So is that called hatmana? Because it is covered on the bottom and the sides all around, but the top, however, is uncovered. So according to what we said yesterday, that would not be a problem of hatmana. There's a letter from Rabbi Shlomo Zalman, where Rabbi Shlomo Zalman writes that if it's covered entirely, even if the top is left open, it is still called hatmana. According to that letter, these crockpots would be a problem. And that is why some people, if they have such a crockpot, what they do is they put some silver foil balls on the bottom so that it should be like propped up. It's not flush, underneath the pot of food. They'll put something so that it's not flush against the heating element, because they're chayshish for this shita, for this chumrah. Many poskim say, I believe Rabbi first says this, many say that if you look at that letter, they claim that the letter is forged. They say that the letter, that those words where it says, even if it's open on top, are not in the same handwriting, and that was somebody else wrote it in. Rabbi Shlomo Zalman never said it. Lo Maisa, it's a chiddush. It's a chiddush of Rabbi Shlomo Zalman. Rabbi Shlomo Zalman may have never said it, and one may be makel to use such a crockpot without worrying about any problem of hatmana. Again, since it is uncovered on the top, even though it's surrounded on the sides, but it's not covered on the top, so therefore it is not considered that the pot of food is entirely enveloped, and therefore it is not a problem of hatmana. Another example where this comes up, this halacha that something cannot be entirely submerged, is when it comes to heating up baby bottles. When you want to heat up a baby bottle on Shabbos, so a lot of times what you do is you'll fill up a cup with hot water and you'll put the baby bottle in, which is, let's say it's a bottle of milk which was pre-pasteurized, so it's cooked milk, so then you would be allowed to put it into a kli sheni. So that means you take hot water from the urn in a washing cup and you put the bottle in. Let's say it's mother's milk, so then you would need to do a kli shlishi. So you'd have to take water from the urn, put it into one cup, then put it into a second cup, and then put the bottle in. So even though if you do it in a kli sheni or a kli shlishi by mother's milk, so it's not a problem of cooking, but what about the problem of hatmana, that you're submerging the food, you're submerging the bottle into the water? And that is a problem. And therefore, if somebody's doing this, he has to be careful that the liquid is not entirely submerged into the hot water. So that means if you're putting a bottle into the cup, you should make sure that the level of liquid in the bottle is slightly above the water line, the top of the water line of the hot water in the cup.